Alright, I'll endure some of this freaking direct sunlight for the sake of this video. But I just want you to see what you've done to me, Vegan Gains. I've let my beard grow because I can. And because I don't need to wear a wig. I have plenty of gray hair as it is. That's why I'm OG Fitness. And I have a couple of problems. I mean, I have a lot of praise for Vegan Gains. For a one-man band, he's very productive, very creative, very funny. I mean, I find myself laughing out loud at many of his skits that he does. His characters are hilarious. He's very good editor, and I'm assuming he writes all his stuff himself. And it's funny, witty, and his characters are dead on. His voices, his accents are very well done. He's a great actor, actually. And um, however, having said all that, I do have a couple of problems with his logic when it comes to the declaration that there cannot be a God. Because I think if he were called out, ultimately he would have to admit, just like the great Richard Dawkins, atheist of atheists, was forced to admit in an interview that there is an outside chance that there is a sentient God, and that he actually takes a hand in human affairs. That idea is, I mean, I'll admit it seems laughable, but it is within the realm of possibility. You can't know for sure. You can't make any firm declarations one way or the other. And, you know, I have to point out, and I'm sure you've noticed, that a lot of the greats in science, a lot of the greatest innovators and scientific geniuses throughout the years have left open, at least left open, the possibility of there being a supreme engineer, intelligent designer, that the universe is not an accident, blah, blah, blah. Now, whether that's the case, and whether we would ever know if it is the case, because, you know, life after death that's another unknowable thing. And the point is this: isn't it just as much of a leap of faith to look at the fact that the material in the universe is expanding at a fairly constant rate, it seems, so therefore to extrapolate back to all of that material at one point, a long, long time ago, being contained in a point unimaginably small? Doesn't that seem impossible? You know, much less improbable. It seems impossible, doesn't it? And yet we sort of take it on faith because our grand gatekeepers of how we accept reality, the physicists, tell us that that's actually the case. The astronomers tell us that that must be the case. So we take that on faith. Now, I am totally willing to, but I just want to point out that there was a Big Bang sounds a lot like let there be light. I mean, it sounds, you know, almost just as improbable. It does sound totally as improbable. And the idea that some entity said, let there be light, let there be a Big Bang, that seems not outside of the realm of possibility. And as someone like me, who has experimented with psychedelic consciousness expanding drugs, wouldn't you agree that part of that innate human desire to enhance and expand our consciousness and alter our consciousness is, at least in part, a desire to try to tear the fabric of reality and peer behind, you know, the very essence of what's going on, to really see what's going on? I'm sure you know what I mean, and I'm sure that you've probably given these types of issues a lot of thought. you can't know for sure whether there's a God or not. And I think you would agree that, you know, the physicists, including Einstein, of course, who talked about God as if he either accepted God or at least was including the idea of God being within the realm of possibility, mathematics having been called the language of God, and with all the incredible scientific achievements that the human race has intersected with and has achieved just in the last 200 or 300 years, quite amazing. But just because the human race has achieved a certain amount of mastery over the physical world doesn't mean we can say with any certainty that we're not, for instance, living in a matrix-like dream. Of course, it seems real and commonly accepted that if, you know, you want to blah blah blah.